And welcome
I'd
back.
love to see you actually do that.
Me do that actually the whole thing. That would be fun. Welcome back to 123 Podcast, and this is episode 21.
Yeah,
Past 20. Chris is back with us.
I'm back. It's official drinking age time. Woo! Coffee.
Exactly.
That's all I got is coffee.
Yeah, exactly. So 21. The podcast is legal now. We can get into bars and everything. So we don't go to bars, but it's all good.
We'll record from a bar.
Will we? Okay. Yeah.
No.
I'll record from. Yeah, I don't even have a joke bar, like a dumbbell bar or something. Anyway, that would be very noisy.
That would be very, very noisy. Oh, one thing we wanted to make mention of was a little kind of update for 123 Podcast. We're going to try to be on a very tight schedule with our episodes. So far, we're planning to bring you guys Raw Friday or Saturday, what were we saying?
I think we want to aim for Friday.
After this episode, we're aiming for Friday.
Exactly.
Because we're recording it on Friday, but unfortunately it's already close to 12. I mean, if you live in California, you might catch it on a Friday before midnight, but we're aiming Raw on Fridays and NXT on Mondays.
Right.
So, yeah, Monday, Sunday. One of those 2 days for NXT, because that's kind of more fluid, because the week, Sunday, Monday, kind of, they flow into each other.
Yeah. The point is we want each one of them to be at least a couple of days before the next episode.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So, before Raw.
Exactly. So what we're going to do is, if, let's say, I can't make it like what happened this week, Brant's going to go no matter what, so there's an episode up on Friday. If Brant can't make it, I'll shoot the episode myself and make sure that's up on, whatever day. Friday or Monday, whichever one it is, even if it's both, we'll make sure that they're up. So we're going to try to get more consistent, because my live show has been consistently on Fridays, and you guys are starting to really help build it up really nicely, and we decided that we need to have some consistency with this podcast. So not only for YouTube, but on SoundCloud too, we'll be able, and iTunes, we'll be able to build a loyal following, because definitively, regardless, there will be somebody on, there will be a show on a specific day. Time-wise, I can't promise anything, but day-wise, it'll be up at least.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that's the new schedule. And like Chris said, we're going to try to stick to it. And that's probably rarely going to happen that one of us isn't there.
Oh, yeah. What happened was, it was a very busy week for me, and I've been literally working till like 10 in the morning. And you guys know, because you saw the live stream on Friday night, or morning, I should say. So, that's done now. So I don't think I have to worry about sleeping through the day most of the time anymore.
Yeah. And plus, it was the whole thing. We couldn't get our schedules to sync before that episode.
We kind of had a mini meeting talking about a bunch of things. And there will be an update for the Chris and Brand show. Stay tuned for that this coming Thursday, and you'll see what's going on with the Chris and Brand show.
Yeah, and the main Zone 4 show is coming back. We'll talk about all that at the end of the show. We are here to talk about some wrestling.
Wrestling!
Yeah, wrestling. We got some news to talk about before we get into the actual show. We'll start with some weird news. John Cena is going to be voicing this for all our fellow comic readers, comic fans and everything. It's kind of a tie-in here. Don't get upset. Oh. But John Cena is going to voice the Hulk in an Avengers mobile game called Avengers Academy. Okay. I guess he's not going to have to say much.
I'm guessing this is Amadeus Cho Hulk.
I don't know. But it seems like it's Banner Hulk, because, it was all the Avengers from the movie, but they were much younger versions. Did you watch the trailer at all? Okay, the trailer, they're all at an academy, but it's like Steve Rogers in like a sweat jacket, and Tony Stark has no goatee.
I've got to click this link now. If I freeze out a little bit, I apologize. Now I've got to see this, because I thought I knew what you were talking about, and this sounds completely different from what I originally anticipated.
Yeah, and just to throw some of the other voice actors in here, Colton Haynes, who plays Red Arrow or Arsenal on...
what the hell's going on with this?
On the CW's Arrow, is going to be Thor. Alison Brie from Community is Black Widow.
This looks like garbage.
Alexandra Daddario from True Detective is Wasp. And Priyanka Chopra, who's the star of Quantico, is Miss Marvel. So, interesting interesting voice casting here for this game.
It's like garbage. Oh, it's a game.
Yeah, it's a game.
It's a TV show.
No. It's a mobile game. It's a mobile game, dude.
Now it makes better sense.
Exactly.
Okay, I thought this was going to be a TV cartoon show.
No,
I'm
that
like,
would
what
be
the hell?
weird.
This is going to be a TV show? This is going to suck. The Hulk looks like he's John Cena hulked out.
That would be really weird if it was a TV show. But no, I'm guessing they're going for a younger audience with this mobile game. That makes sense. So.
Okay, that makes sense.
I thought
it was a cartoon show. I was like, this is going to suck.
But that's what John Cena's doing while he's recovering and everything. He's voicing the Hulk in a mobile game.
I have nothing. John Cena reminds me of Hulk Hogan so much. I'm waiting for him to do what The Rock did. Quit and go into movies like full time.
Speaking of people that remind us of other people, Ryback has new gear that he debuted on SmackDown this week.
Yeah, when you showed me that, you're like, hey, when did Goldberg come back, Chris? I'm like, what? And then you sent me a picture of Ryback in black underwear with the gloves and the boots. It looked like a shorter carbon copy of freaking Goldberg. I'm like...
Yeah, and we were joking. We wonder if his bags got lost and he didn't have his gear, or if this really is the transition to a new Ryback that's just totally Goldberg. And I'm just expecting the smoke to start coming out and the crowd to start chanting, Ryback, Ryback.
I swear. You know what's weird, though? When he does come out and he stands in front of the fireworks, the smoke does go around his face when he says, wake up, it's feeding time.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I think he needs to get the singlet back. At least that made him look a little different, you know?
Yeah, if they make him too Goldberg. I think, I was talking with a few people. I mean, this morning when I had that morning stream with... I had a snow morning stream. I was talking with Jeremy about it. It's really not, it's amazing. I have to say our podcast is definitely reaching out to a lot of people who watch my channel because it wasn't even wrestling related. It's a funny story, really. And Jeremy came on, a friend of mine from Brooklyn Boys, I believe, Jazz came on, and DNGN came on, and we went into talking about how TNA is basically dying. But then we went into WWE, and we were talking about the women's division, how somebody mentioned new talents coming up. Alan was telling me that NXT let 5 people go. I forgot the names. I could grab them really quick. But
I know Bull Dempsey was one of them.
Yes. But Jeremy, we were talking about how and he calls them the creative team because it's not creative. It's either a copy-paste of something that's been done already, or they're doing something too predictable, or worse, they're doing something that, and this is what I was mentioning, they're doing something that's just not grabbing people.
Yeah, speaking of TNA, there's actually a couple things I wanted to mention about TNA. First of all,
I got the list.
Yeah, while you're getting the list, Awesome Kong, which I know you're familiar with her. She was
yeah, she got fired.
Yeah, she got fired because there was an altercation overseas with her and Matt Hardy's wife. Yep. And Matt Hardy, of course, is the world champion right now. So it was something about her, supposedly her not wanting Rebby Sky, I think that's her name, to come into the women's locker room because she's not a wrestler. And so TNA decided they're going to fire Awesome Kong, who has been a proven asset to their company for years and years and years.
Just because of Matt Hardy.
Exactly. That's where this company's going. And that really aggravated me when I saw that, because Awesome Kong is, well, no pun intended, but awesome.
Yeah, and you know me, I love the Hardys. I'm a huge fan of the Hardys, but that was ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. I feel like Rebby Sky is trying to be the next Karen Angle here. Karen Jarrett, whatever.
Yeah, and you know what's really funny? Oh God, what was I gonna say? Shoot. Jeff Hardy has been poking a lot at CM Punk about being straight edge, saying that either he doesn't believe it or he should try doing the not straight edge. Did you know that TNA at one time actually had him coming out smoking and stuff like that?
Oh, I did not. I must not have been watching it.
Look at him shooting CM Punk. And then if you look it up, I forgot who had the belt at the time. Mr. Kennedy had the belt at the time.
Mr. Anderson, yeah.
Well, yeah, and He comes out, he's in a jet, and he's a stone, and the whole storyline is he's a stoner.
Wow. That's just awful.
I don't think it's current. I think that was past.
Still, they've put him in rehab many times, and they're gonna let him come out as that character. That's just messed up. But okay, whatever. Whatever.
Exactly.
You mentioned CM Punk, and this is a little sidetrack. Then we'll get back to the TNA thing. Mm-hmm. There was an interview recently. CM Punk was interviewed about fighting in the UFC, MMA, and everything. And CM Punk walked out on the interview and told his people that he never wanted to talk to this guy again. And it basically boiled down to the guy asked him if he was having any problems adjusting from WWE to UFC.
Oh, wow.
And CM Punk took that personally as he was saying that CM Punk didn't realize there was a difference between wrestling and MMA fighting. And he just took it totally wrong and blew off, and he blew up about it, and was like, the guy was like, that's not what I was asking, or that's not what I was saying. He was like, that's totally what you're saying. You think I'm an idiot or something? And he just went off on the guy, and then ended the interview and walked off. It sounds to me that, he also asked him.
Very sensitive. He's too sensitive.
He also asked him about his time in WWE right before he walked off, and he was like, I don't want to talk about that anymore. I've been there, done that. I'm ready to move forward, so this interview is basically over.
So basically, if anybody brings WWE up to CM Punk, the interview's over.
Pretty much, yeah. And it's like somebody in the comments actually said, he's never had an MMA fight yet, and he was a pretty big name in this era of wrestling. What in the world does he expect interviewers to ask him about? Which is true. It's like
it's true.
That's
what do they say? How is it? How are you finding the transition from MMA to UFC? It's the same shit.
Yeah, I know exactly. It's like what I mean. That's a legitimate question. How are you handling the transition from a scripted format to real fighting?
Serious.
That's a good question. I don't see the problem with that, but whatever.
He's way too sensitive. See, this is why I never liked CM Punk. See, at first it's like, okay, this guy's trying to be a martyr. He's trying to, not let Vince McMahon step all over. But then it's like when they were doing the breast cancer thing, and he was like, if you want to donate money, donate. It's like, dude, you're looking to take pot shots at WWE. And then when somebody asks you a legitimate question about a company you used to be a part of, regardless of whether you want to acknowledge it or not anymore, you're gonna walk and start.
Yeah,
he is his name. He's a Punk.
In my opinion, in my humble opinion, and I did like CM Punk for a time. In my humble opinion, I feel like he's bitter.
He's very bitter.
Yeah, I don't know the guy. I don't want to cast aspersions on him, on his character, and call him out and all that stuff. But that's my take on it. Whatever. Everybody's gonna draw their own conclusions. But more power to him, and good luck in the UFC.
And I'm sure that he has all his fans that are backing him up going, yeah, that interviewer was just being a jackass.
Of course he does. Of course.
You know what? Puff him up a little bit more, everybody, please. I mean, his ego is only about the size of, New York State.
Yeah, that's one thing I can't stand. And this is a total sidetrack and a little mini-rant, and I apologize for it.
Go for it. No, listen. Raw was a mediocre Raw, so we're going to get through it pretty fast, so we need to depend on stuff like this when it's a medium Raw. So go for it.
Yeah, this really aggravates me about being a fan of anything in general, but it really in wrestling you see it a lot. It's when somebody's a fan of a certain wrestler or something, that person can do no wrong, and they're like basically zombies or sheep or something. I feel like I can be a fan of somebody or a fan of anything, a comic, a movie, or whatever, but I can still admit the flaws in it.
Of course.
I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. I can't stand Amazing Spider-Man right now.
Oh, you just got a good comment in the comments.
Yeah, I know. Hi, Tevye. But, it's like, if you're a big fan of Brock Lesnar, it doesn't matter. Brock Lesnar is getting screwed over this and that. Why isn't he the world champ right now? Yada, yada. There's those kind of fans out there. They're diehard fans, and I appreciate that if you're a diehard fan of CM Punk or anybody else, or Daniel Bryan, or whatever. But you've got to, I don't know, you've got to have you can't just totally...
People aren't completely always right. There's some
good
and some bad points. CM Punk I'm sorry, that's a bad point what he did at this interview.
Yeah.
But he had a lot of right. What the reason for leaving WWE was legit. But now the shitting on WWE constantly and literally ending now an interview just because he's a little salty that the guy asked what the difference is. There is a major difference. And I'm not even a wrestler or a UFC fighter or MMA. And I can tell you there's a humongous difference. Like Brand said, number one, there's no script. This is legit. You're coming out and you're fighting and you're going to get your ass kicked. You're going to get black and blues, broken bones, blood everywhere, whatever. Compared to going out in a WWE ring where it's scripted, you already know who's going to win, less risk of injury, even though there is still injury.
It's still pretty dangerous, but, okay, my bottom line with that is that, I don't even know how to phrase it.
Don't be a punk.
Well, it's just, you can be a fan and support somebody, but you don't have to, I don't even know.
Pedestal. You don't have to put them on a pedestal.
Exactly, thank you. You don't have to put them on a pedestal, they can do no wrong and all that stuff. That's garbage.
I mean, if you want to do that, do that with us. We can never do it anymore.
No, see, that's the thing. I don't want anybody to be a blind fan of me. If you like what I do, like with the podcast and with whatever I'm involved with, that's fine. But if I do something you don't like, call me out on it, please. I prefer that. I prefer honesty. I prefer people thinking for themselves. I don't prefer people that just blindly follow anything. That's one of my pet peeves. I can't stand it.
I agree, 100%, 100%. And to be honest, MMA, UFC have nothing to do with wrestling. I'm officially done with CM Punk. I don't even really deal with his comic book, the Drax book. I don't find it interesting.
I actually do like that book.
Well, I'm glad. No. I'm glad you like it. The character is the reason why I don't read it mostly. So that's mostly the reason why to begin with. CM Punk has no influence on my life, on this podcast, in wrestling anymore. So personally, I could give two craps what he does, but what he did there was wrong.
Yeah, it's just, like you said, him leaving, he's done with that life. He's accomplished everything. That's fine and well. More power to you. I respect that. I respected that with The Rock, even when everybody hated on him for it.
What, for going to movies?
Yeah.
I thought they said fine. I didn't care. I thought, look, you want to be Hulk Hogan?
I'm just saying, if that's what's right for you, fine. Mm-hmm. I respect that. But don't turn around and
bash on it.
Bite the hand that fed you for so many years.
Exactly.
It's kind of like this is a total, and I apologize for the reference here.
Apologizing and do your sidetrack. There's no apologies.
No, not for the sidetrack, for the reference, because it's a really lame reference.
Oh, okay.
But there was a time not too long ago when Justin Timberlake regretted his boy band years. If there was no boy band years, there'd be no Justin Timberlake right now, though.
Absolutely.
That's my point. It's the same thing. If there was no WWE for CM Punk to come up and become popular, who's to say he would even have a spot in the UFC right now?
True. And even though he was at ECW, it doesn't matter. I mean, a lot of ECW stars kind of faded when ECW got sold to WWE.
It's just, that's just poor taste and poor form, in my opinion. But that's my opinion, and
I agree with your opinion in this case because I'm sorry, you don't. First of all, you don't say that you know what the guy's saying when it's clear as day the guy was not saying that. As a person that didn't see the interview, has no clue about it. But the way you just said it, if that's exactly how it went down, I know for a fact that guy just wanted to know what the big difference is between WWE and UFC. Yeah. How he's transitioning, how it's going.
I'm sure Brock Lesnar got asked the same questions.
And he answered them.
Probably. So, anyway, moving on from all that. Yeah, even though he hates people. Going back to TNA for a second.
Okay, yeah.
James Storm and Bobby Roode, they were talking about the whole, James Storm left NXT and went back to TNA kind of thing. And they were kind of trying to stress that you don't have to be in the WWE to be successful in this business, and that everybody, all wrestlers in any company, are kind of this dysfunctional family, and none of them want to see each other fail, and nobody actually wants to see each company fail, because it's like, if TNA goes away, there's no guarantee WWE is going to pick up all these guys that you like to watch.
Absolutely. So, there's way too many, honestly.
Yeah. And that was a good point. They did stress, though, that even though they're happy right now at TNA, that one thing that TNA can improve on is storylines. And I completely agree on that because the storylines that they do, because they tape 4 or 5 months in advance, we're going to see Awesome Kong on their television programming for months now, even though she's been fired.
Yeah, 4 more months at least.
Yeah, and they cut those shows together so weird that the storylines are stilted and they drop stuff and bring other stuff up, and it's just all over the place. I agree with that. I think they need to go back to basics with that company, but
I think too far in advance is too much. They need to, if they got to record a week in advance, fine, but no.
Even 2 or 3 weeks, but not as far ahead as they do. Because NXT tapes a month in advance.
Right.
They tape 4 weeks of shows at once, and that works out just fine.
Yeah, because it works. It's basically, it flows very nicely because at least, even though, like, it flows. Let's put it, they get a nice month off, though, after the show. They get one show, goes for 4 weeks, and then they record the next show, goes another 4 weeks. They get good rest, and they're backstage, because I was watching, we were talking about not being sheep. You know how I hate New Day.
Mm-hmm.
I love Austin Creed, though. That's Xavier Woods. He has a gaming channel, which is up, down, down. And it involves all the wrestlers and him playing video games. Mm-hmm. Bayley and Sasha Banks were backstage during a Raw event, and he's doing a little promo right now. They're going to fight each other in Mortal Kombat X.
Nice.
So the NXT people are still traveling around with the WWE crew.
Oh, of course, yeah.
They're just backstage, so they're learning still. So it's not like they're just flatlining somewhere for a month.
Right, and I'm sure they do house shows and stuff like that too. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Overseas tours, all that stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love Bayley. I wish she'd move up to WWE.
Eventually, she will. I'm sure. They got a lot of good ladies there, so hopefully, over time. And speaking of, go ahead.
One sec, real quick. The 5 people that were released from NXT were on NXT.
Thank you.
Bull Dempsey,
mm-hmm.
Sylvester Lefort.
Okay.
Marcus Lewis, Magno, and Peter Howard.
I don't know any of those other guys.
No clue who any of them are. I've never seen them before. So unless they use their real names and not their wrestling names,
maybe.
I have no clue.
I've seen Bull Dempsey twice. There was something else. Ty Dillinger, the Perfect 10. He got injured, I think, overseas. So
wow.
I'm not sure how serious it is. I didn't get a chance to read the full story. But I did see that he got injured or something. So,
you know what we didn't put here, and it's very important. Speaking of injuries, Bret Hart.
Yeah, that's true.
Bret Hart came out on Twitter. Yeah. He made this long, heartfelt statement. Not on Twitter. It was somewhere on Facebook, and he basically claimed that he's undergone surgeries on his wrists. He's paid the price for all the the stuff he's done over the years. But recently, he found out that he has prostate cancer. And he actually started by the time we're recording this, he started a
chemo?
I don't know if it's chemo. I think he said starting on the road to, he's going into the hospital to try to beat it, to try to get rid of it.
Yeah, absolutely wish recovery for him and thoughts with his family and everything.
Absolutely.
That's awful. Speaking of awful things, just to go there real quick, Axl Rotten. ECW original passed away recently, so thoughts and prayers to his family and friends as well.
Yep.
Man, another one.
Too much in 1 year already, and we're only in February.
Yeah. And our last piece of news involves Lucha Underground, which is a very popular internet wrestling federation. It's where Del Rio went when he was away from WWE.
Yep.
And apparently WWE met with Lucha Underground people, and they were trying to work out some kind of deal, some kind of arrangement, possibly. As far as I know, it hasn't gone anywhere yet, but it's very interesting.
They might try to buy out Lucha Underground as to get what it would become is Lucha Underground stays exactly the same, no changes, no touching, no nothing. WWE gets a percentage of the sales and whatnot, and that becomes the Luchas. What am I going? The Luchadors, the Spanish wrestlers basically will start off there like a kind of like a AAA kind of deal, like with baseball, like an indie, and then work their way. Like basically, they can bring talent up from there.
It could be similar to, I mean, if they do work out a deal, it could be similar to what they did for ECW. You know, they were basically funding ECW back in the day because Paul Heyman couldn't keep it afloat. So WWE was funding it, but it stayed as ECW. It stayed
until WCW went out and they just combined it all.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not talking about the ECW that WWE brought back a few years ago, but like the original ECW, they still had a piece of it, and they would like trade talent. And sometimes the ECW guys would come up and so on and so forth. So we might see some more luchadors come to WWE.
That's what I was looking for, luchadors.
Yeah, from time to time. I don't know. That's definitely a piece of news that I'm going to keep my eye on.
I agree. I mean, we need more because the cruiserweight division is definitely lacking. So maybe you could bring a cruiserweight belt back.
Yeah. All right. So that's all the news I got, unless you got anything else.
No. I remembered Bret Hart halfway through.
Yeah.
The CM Punk thing kind of took me kind of like a.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, wow, he's such a. I'm sorry. I mean, I used to like watching him wrestle, but I mean, if he's gonna be jerky about everything every time somebody brings up WWE and so like I know more than you think I know, or I know better than you what you're trying to say, then you know. That kind of person, I'd pick John Cena over that, and that says a lot because I'm tired of John Cena myself.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you on that. So, no, that's all right. We're not gonna spend any more time on that. Let's go into Raw because that's what we're here for.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I want to say one thing about two matches you didn't see. You didn't see. Well, let's start with Titus O'Neil and Tyler Breeze.
Okay.
Complete throwaway match. The one important thing that I could say about that match was Titus O'Neil has officially gone solo. Him and his tag partner broke, and there is no more
primetime players.
Primetime players.
Did they actually say that? Or
there was commentary about it. Actually, sorry, I tried to catch a fly that was flying around the screen and didn't get it.
So they said it on the commentary during the match. Okay.
Yeah, I think that basically they said Titus is basically going on his own. I think he's going to be going like Intercontinental or United States.
He's got a lot of potential. That guy, Darren Young, was his tag team partner, is good. He is, but he's not quite there yet as far as solo goes. Titus though is close. He's really
very close. The way he wrestled, yeah, he's got the strength behind him. That's the thing. Yeah. I mean, he made Tyler Breeze look like a little twig.
Yeah. He's also got a lot of personality. He can handle himself on the mic. I think we could see big things from him.
He is very vocal also with the anti-bullying thing that he does.
Right.
He's very vocal with the breast cancer and all the other funds. He's one of the people like Mark Henry, and I'm surprised Mark Henry, Big Show, they go to these things all the time. You know, WWE doesn't stop with wrestling. They do anti-bullying, which, like I said, Big Show, Mark Henry, and Titus O'Neil, huge at that. There's also the breast cancer. They've done a lot of funds that they've been showing like commercials of.
Yeah. Did you see the a little sidetrack, but it's related? This being Black History Month, they're doing like spotlights.
Yes, and they did Mark Henry. That's what I saw about the anti-bullying.
Right. I thought that was cool. One thing he said that was kind of funny, he was like, you look at me, this 400-pound dude, and you don't think I'd ever be bullied. You'd be surprised. Which, that's probably why he got into weightlifting in the first place, because he was bullied as a kid. Which I think that's really inspirational, and I love that they do that.
See, this is where the company kind of shines, and I think this has to do a little bit away from Vince. I think this has a lot to do with when Triple H moved up. I feel like him and Stephanie are kind of doing a lot of this, more than what Vince or his father was doing. Because Vince and his father were this is WWE, this is wrestling, this is what we focus on. I feel like Vince did do a few things, but when his daughter and Triple H kind of took things over a bit more, I feel like they really were the ones that went into a lot of this. Because a lot of this innovative stuff happened, if you notice, when Stephanie and Triple H really started doing more.
I do agree with that to a point. I agree that they have a different vision for the company, and I think they're taking it into the next era. But at the same time, I think Vince McMahon is aware and has to sign off on everything.
Oh, yeah, of course. He's agreeing to it, but I feel like they're the ones that had the vision and are making, hey, look, Dad, let's do this. We can help people, and help. And you at the same time, this is to help grow the brand, because now it's like, oh look, WWE's doing this. Maybe we should watch their show and support them, or buy their shirts and support them.
Yeah.
Even Up Up Down Down, what Xavier Wood does. Guess where you buy the shirt for Up Up Down Down, which is a completely only YouTube channel, WWEshop.com.
Yeah. And, whatever you think of Triple H, and I know there's been a lot of speculation about the way he is backstage. None of us will ever know because we're not actually there.
Precisely, so you can't judge him.
But, whatever your opinions on him, he's the guy that started, he's NXT is his baby. He's the one that champions that. He's the one that pushes it. So, if you love NXT, then that's basically his creation, in a way.
And he's done a lot of really great things. Look what he did for that boy that passed away last year. And they started a fund for that, actually, as well.
Yeah, I don't think that has any impact on the storylines that they tell on Raw and SmackDown. I think that's a totally different beast. I don't know. I got problems with that area, but we'll get to all that. So, no, that's cool about, that's cool about Titus O'Neil, though. So the other match I didn't see was the Usos versus the Social Outcasts. That was one of them.
Yeah, there's one. There's another one after that. The Usos versus the Outcasts. I'll be honest with you. I love watching the Usos wrestle. They're as you can hear, we did their intro. I love their intro. I feel like they're building the Usos up again, and they're trying so hard. They're trying so hard to build the Social Outcasts up as a faction, and just like the League of Nations, it is failing.
I don't know if it's failing. I think they're a joke faction. And
they are. In that sense, they're doing good.
Yeah, the problem is we already have a joke faction with New Day.
Exactly, which we saw later on in the night, and it was better.
Yeah.
I feel like the Social Outcasts just isn't working. It isn't working.
Yeah, it's at least these guys are getting something, though. They're getting TV time. They're not getting Hulu time, but they're getting TV time. So at least it's something for those guys. They've been around for a while. They deserve it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree, but at the same time, the show's...
Yeah, I know.
Dizzle, I'm like, come on.
Yeah, I agree with you. They could trim an hour from the show still.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm giving you an hour's worth of stuff you can cut out.
Yeah, hey, Hulu does that for me.
Yeah.
So the other match that I did not see?
What other match didn't you see? Brie Bella versus Charlotte.
That's it.
I'm surprised that wasn't on Hulu, too, because of the simple fact that Ric Flair screwed his daughter by accident.
See, I think that's I like this story better for her, even though I didn't see it. First, he gets her involved in a title match with Becky Lynch that she didn't want. And now he's done this and cost her a match against Brie Bella. I like that direction, because that means eventually she's going to be like, Dad, stay backstage.
Right, and then she's going to screw up. Yeah.
Anything better than what we were getting. So I'm happy with that. But, I'm glad that they put the Sasha-Becky match on there instead.
That was more important, I feel, also, yeah.
Yeah, which was a good match, too. I love Sasha Banks, and I love this. I did have a problem with that, though.
Okay,
I had a problem because they do this whole thing where Team Bad is breaking up, right? But they're like...
Yeah, and I thought they broke up. Remember I mentioned it last week that it happened on SmackDown, and it didn't. It happened this week officially.
Right. So they do this whole thing, we're breaking up, but we still got unity. We're still girls. We're going to part on, good terms and everything. You guys still have my back, right? She says this to Naomi and Tamina. You guys still have my back, right? So she goes out there, and during the match, she completely contradicts herself because she jumps out and says, I don't need you two out here.
Get out. Yeah. I'm like, you're going to get your butt. When she said that, I'm like, they're going to turn around and just beat the crap out of her for saying that. Very predictable.
That was just stupid the way that was. And I'm sure that wasn't her fault. That was the way it was scripted. But that bothered me because it was like, yeah, you guys still got my back, right? I don't need you. It was like...
Then why did you ask them to have your back? Exactly. Just tell them to get gone and let them come out like during the match and screw your match up.
Right. That would have made more sense. That's the only problem I had with it. Other than that, it was good. I'm glad they're broken up and she's the boss again. I like that.
Well, it looks like she might be teaming with Becky Lynch against them because Becky came to her rescue. The match happened. It was a DQ because Sasha's team started beating her up. And Becky actually, they ended up bringing up Sasha into the ring. Becky got involved, and they basically threw both of them out.
Except for what happened on SmackDown.
What happened on SmackDown?
I mean, it's nothing bad. It was an interview backstage with the two of them, and they started arguing about who's going to get to Charlotte first. So basically, I think it's going to turn into a triple threat situation.
Or four-way, because there's four of them all together.
Four of them? No, I'm talking Charlotte, Becky, and Sasha.
Oh, okay, so not involving Team Bad.
No, they were talking about Charlotte.
Oh,
they were
so
talking
the three
about,
of them. Okay.
Yeah, they were talking about the title. So.
Okay. I could live with a three-way for Fastlane, and then the winner, go on to WrestleMania, because that belt's got to be defended at WrestleMania.
Oh,
every belt gets defended at Mania, regardless. Even if it's a stupid match, it gets defended.
Totally. So. Yeah.
What?
No, go ahead.
No, you first.
No, go ahead.
My favorite segment had to be, though, the Miz show.
Oh, yes.
AJ Styles didn't wrestle for Raw. He wrestled on SmackDown, and I pray to God that they're not going to do this. They're not going to say, okay, AJ's popular, let's ship him over to SmackDown. So SmackDown
Yeah.
Don't do that, because I still won't watch. I'm sorry, I love AJ, but I
will go find that match on YouTube.
Exactly. And it won't help their views. It'll help whoever posts the views.
Yeah.
I loved it so much. Miz is like, I mentored Brian Adams there. Daniel Bryan. I mentored so many people. I'm here to ask you to let me be your mentor. And every time he tried to talk,
Miz would cut him
you
off.
thought it was a good idea.
Yeah, I did think it was a good idea, because Miz kind of told AJ Styles' whole life story.
Yep.
And the thing is, I love AJ Styles. AJ Styles has been one of my favorite wrestlers since I started watching him in TNA. The thing is, though, he's not the best on the mic, and I think they need to take this time to kind of teach him better, to be better on the mic. And right now, you've got this mysterious kind of factor to him, kind of like Sting was in the 90s. It's kind of this mysterious, you know me, you know what I'm about, but you don't really know me kind of thing.
Right.
I kind of like that mystique they have going on with him, and that he's just this unknown factor that's come to the WWE and taken it by storm. I like that. So I thought it was kind of smart that they didn't have him talk here.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It worked better when he beat the crap out of Miz.
Exactly. He just had enough of Miz and just jumped up and started wailing on him. I love that. I thought it was brilliant.
I did too. I have a fun fact for you. Guess where he went before he went to the Rumble?
Where?
DDP Yoga. Subscribe to DDP Yoga. His back was so bad coming out of the previous play. I believe he was on I forgot.
Ring of Honor or
somewhere. It was Ring of Honor or somewhere. And his back was shot. I mean, he was bad. He couldn't walk certain times. DDP put up a video not a week ago about and he showed up at DDP, and he did the yoga with you. And guess who recommended him to the yoga? Chris Jericho.
That's funny.
So it's ironic that Jericho, obviously outside the ring, Jericho's not the same person. So and DDP Yoga saved AJ Styles, and it's the reason why we've got AJ Styles in the ring now.
Yeah.
And if you look at him when he walks, he does still have, I think, a problem with his back a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's not surprising with the kind of moves he does. Mm-hmm. The thing, just another sidetrack with SmackDown, the thing that happened with him and Miz, they fought, AJ Styles won, and then Jericho comes out. He was out there during the match, but he confronted AJ after, and it wasn't with animosity. It wasn't like it was a heel turn or anything. He was just like, "You're good, but are you great? Can you beat me twice? Let's have a rematch next week." So next week on SmackDown, they're going to have a rematch.
Unless he heel turns during the match.
Which is possible. It is Jericho. You never know what Jericho's going to do.
Exactly. That's the problem.
Yeah. But, I would love to see AJ win again and then, kind of solidify his place here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
I think that would be great. I just feel bad that it's not on Raw, but maybe he'll have another match on Raw instead, setting up for Jericho. Fingers crossed.
Right. So, before we get into the main event, which is, actually, there's two other matches that happened. Kalisto, Rusev, count out. What?
Oh, okay, yeah, that was, you're giving away one. There was three.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Dolph Ziggler and Kevin Owens. Seems like they're feuding now. They actually got into it a little bit on SmackDown, too.
I don't feel invested in this.
I know.
When Dean Ambrose was fighting with Kevin Owens, it's like you felt the feud. You know what Dean Ambrose's side is. You know what Dolph Ziggler's like, oh, you threw me out of the ring. I'm angry at you. Let's fight.
Yeah. It it got a little better from SmackDown. This match was like it was a rematch from last Raw. It was the same exact match.
Exactly.
Really, and with the same exact result.
Exactly.
I really felt like I was watching a rerun. On SmackDown, it was Kalisto versus Kevin Owens, and Dolph Ziggler cost Kevin Owens the match.
Oh,
So they're going down that route now.
So there goes AJ and Kevin Owens.
At least for now.
Oh.
So we'll see what happens. Maybe that'll be a WrestleMania match. Yeah, but you're right. There was Big Show versus Eric Rowan as well.
Mm-hmm. This match was mediocre because we got exactly what we got at the Royal Rumble. The second Big Show was ahead. In comes what's his name, Braun Strowman, and I can't remember Luke Harper, and cost Big Show. Big Show won because he was there was a disqualification for Eric Rowan, but they just beat the crap out of Big Show, threw him into a chair. They basically decimated him. And what pissed me off was at the beginning of the night, Brock Lesnar came out, made this big speech about, I'm going to WrestleMania, and even I'm so glad that what's his name does all his talking for him. Paul Heyman. I'm so glad because I don't think Brock Lesnar is as articulate as Heyman.
That's why he's always had Heyman with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Paul Heyman said it best. Brock Lesnar will take his revenge out on the Wyatt family in time. I thought that was a waste of a threat, and that was a waste of a story right there, because you could have had Brock Lesnar come out and beat he didn't even have to save Big Show. He could have F5 Big Show after, but he had his moment right there to at least screw with the Wyatt family, because we know that he's going to Fastlane fight to go after Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns. That's not going to change. He could have screwed with the Wyatt family then. They could have cost him the match at Fastlane, and that could have been a WrestleMania match.
Yeah. I know. We should be booking this show.
Tell me about, the creative, I felt it several times throughout the night. The creative staff dropped the ball. They dropped the ball with that. They dropped the ball with Kevin Owens. They dropped the ball with AJ Styles. They dropped the ball.
I don't think they dropped the ball
with AJ Styles. They could have had a Kevin Owens moment, but they dropped the ball with Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler. This is going to be a forgettable feud. Yeah. And they dropped the ball with Brock Lesnar. I said Brock Lesnar. They dropped the ball also with a few things.
Yeah, the saucer thing I mentioned earlier, that was a misstep.
Yeah, that was a misstep.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, no, now I remember. I'm sorry for interrupting you. They dropped the ball with Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns with the whole Triple H Stephanie trying to screw with their...
Yeah, that's where we're going next, so we might as well just dive right into that. That was kind of the build-up through the whole thing, trying to pit them against each other, like what we see all the time when you got two faces that are going to be in a match together.
You heel turn one of them, and it didn't work.
You heel turn them, or you just cause this controversy where they're going to inadvertently cost each other the match or whatever. And then I hate that because we see it so often. I'd like to see something fresh. The thing I wanted to mention this because something happened on SmackDown that kind of fed into that too.
Oh no!
Exactly. At the beginning of the night, Rusev was fighting Roman Reigns, and of course the League of Nations got involved. Dean Ambrose comes out, and somehow, I don't remember exactly what happened, but somehow...
Oh, no, don't tell me.
Yeah, somehow Ambrose lands on Reigns instead of the League of Nations guy. But it's okay. They were like, Roman Reigns said backstage, we're not on the same page. We're both going after the title, yada, yada. But they teamed up at the end of that night, too. So it's like, that's what they're doing. They're doing the same typical, predictable thing where...
Now on Raw, one of them will accidentally hit the other.
Of course.
Fight, and then they'll just be fighting each other. Oh.
It's like they can't think of anything new and fresh to do with that kind of situation. It's the same thing. It was always the same thing. We saw it with Orton and Cena, several times.
Did you hear when Seth Rollins comes back? They're teasing that there's a possibility Shield might there might be a Shield reunion.
We'll see. I'm not going to believe it until I actually see it.
I don't want to believe it. I don't want to believe it. I want Seth Rollins to be on his own. If you're part of a team, then how are you going to go after the World Heavyweight Championship again?
That's true. But I like the Shield. I always did. But
if they're I'm trying to think if it would work better if they were all faces or if they were all heels. Because we've kind of seen them both ways.
Yeah, I don't know. It would be so hard to turn either Ambrose or Reigns heel right now. It'd be so hard to turn
No,
Rollins face.
I think Roman has a very strong potential to heel turn if they wanted to. Ambrose, though, no, absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. it's so it's so
Well,
crazy.
Seth Rollins won't be back for another at least 5-6 months, so that gives plenty of time and plenty of story to heel turn at least one or the other, or face, keep them faces, and then Shield comes back
Yeah.
as face.
The thing is, when Cena comes back, and if Daniel Bryan comes back, what are you going to do then? You
And
have to
Randy
turn.
Orton,
Well, Randy Orton can go heel or face; it doesn't matter. But those two are face. There's no
yeah.
question about it. Cena and Bryan. I think at that point you'd have to turn either Ambrose or Reigns heel.
Or turn John Cena heel again. He needs a heel
It's
turn.
never going to happen. He's Hulk Hogan. It's
Hulk Hogan was a heel in
in
WCW.
WCW, not in WWE. He's their kid factor. He's that guy.
This is going to get very frustrating very fast.
But he's out for a while too, so we don't have to worry about that right now.
I don't know. This felt like a very, what's the word I'm looking for? This Raw episode felt very average at best. And like I said, the creative team really dropped the ball on a lot of potentially really great moments in the night.
Yeah,
Even the main event was a ball drop, which we knew that Brock Lesnar was going to come out. We knew that Brock Lesnar was going to beat up on Ambrose and Roman Reigns.
yeah, absolutely. So it ends with him standing tall, of course. That's the way it's
Of
going to
course.
go. So, I don't. Yeah, it was most of it was predictable. It was very average. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either.
Exactly. It was just
Yeah,
baseline.
that's the way I felt about it too. And being the build up to WrestleMania, it should be more exciting than this. Usually,
Alan Tech was writing me during the event. He's like, this was a 2 out of 5 at best. For him, he said it was a 2 out of 5. I said it was an average 3. For
yeah,
me.
I would give it a 3 too. But I said it before on this show actually that from Royal Rumble on through WrestleMania, it's usually everything picks up. It gets exciting. They try new stuff and all this. Everything is on point. And this year, that's not the case. The Rumble I thought was good, except for the ending could have been different. But I thought it was a good event. But since then,
They changed it last moment,
I know. Yeah,
Talk about that? We did talk.
we did talk about that. Yeah.
We did, okay.
But yeah, it's just like this is just not grabbing me like it should. Unfortunately,
It's not. No, it isn't for me either. NXT, complete. I mean, you want to talk to the same company, but it's polar opposites. NXT, I still, even though I didn't do the episode with you, I still watched it.
Yeah.
Still couldn't miss it.
Yeah.
So
and
different.
when we talk about on the next episode of this show, when we talk about NXT, it was another great episode. So
I don't know. I think the creative staff. I think that Vince McMahon really needs to think about a creative staff change. I really think that at this point in the juncture, if he does not bring at least Raw back to some type of a better standard than where they're at now, things are going to get really bad.
yeah, I agree.
Because we don't watch SmackDown as is.
I still, I mean, I'm going to be a broken record, and I think most fans will agree. If Raw went back to 2 hours and SmackDown became live and mattered again, that would be better than what we're getting.
I agree, and we need to stop getting useless feuds that were forgettable feuds like we're getting with Kevin Owens right now.
Yeah, and it sucks because I like Kevin Owens and I like Dolph Ziggler, but together, it's just Dolph Ziggler's not going to win. That's the problem with
Kevin Owens going to win.
Yeah, that's the problem with it. That's the whole problem with that entire feud.
Yeah.
They fought many times. Ziggler never wins. He's not going to win.
Right. He only won the past 2. The last one, the one on Raw, he won pure luck.
Yeah. So it's just, I mean, ultimately the feud, it's like Kevin Owens is not going to boost Dolph Ziggler into that next level. It's just, this is a holding pattern for Kevin Owens. Mm-hmm. Basically, which that sucks to say because, like I said, I like Dolph Ziggler, but he's stuck, and I don't know what he's got to do to get out of that.
Either he has to tag up with somebody, create a tag team, a faction. Not even a faction, no more factions.
No.
He needs a tag partner or something. Maybe go into tag division for a while, and then when he gets a little bit more popular, break. But we got such a mediocre tag division too. I mean, look, the Luchas broke up because Kalisto's now Intercontinental, and the other one's out for who knows how long. Sin Cara. Who else is there? The Usos are really good. You got New Day, they've held the titles for, in my opinion, too long.
Yeah.
And then other than them, who do you got? The Ascension.
Yeah.
The Dudleys, the Dudleys. By the way, the Dudleys' big return. Big shit. They're main eventing almost. Now they're in the background again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're thinking about breaking them up.
And now they're thinking about breaking them up.
Yeah.
Again, they did that already before. Remember, Brother Dean?
I remember. It did not work.
Oh, but I guess they saw Bully Ray Dudley, and they're thinking maybe Bully Ray, but I don't.
Yeah, but that worked in TNA because TNA is a much smaller scale operation.
He can't hold the world title in WWE.
I can't see it, but if they're hurting for heels, who knows?
I'd rather. I want to see the Dudleys get their 10-time, tag belt thing before they leave. Because how much longer do you think the Dudleys have? Honestly.
Yeah, they're coming up on it. Yeah, you're right.
They're teeter-tottering.
Yeah. So. Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's. There's so many things they could do differently, but this is what we're getting. And I love wrestling, so I'm going to keep watching. I'm going to enjoy what it is.
I'm going to keep watching Raw at least, of course. I'm not.
Yeah, of course, and NXT, obviously. But yeah, this was an average episode, unfortunately, and hopefully next week's better. That's all I can say.
It could also be because of all the injuries that we're getting. Quick script writing, quick this, quick that. We have to change things really quickly. We were planning on Seth Rollins. Now we got to do something else. We were planning on this. We got to do something else. I think Randy Orton's all but done with wrestling at this point. I mean, we haven't seen him in forever.
Well, I mean, he's injured.
Yeah, but let's see what happens when he's all right. I mean, he also did a movie.
Yeah, but
you think he'll come back?
I think Orton's got time left. I think he'll come back. I definitely think he'll come back. He's really good. I don't care what people think about him. I didn't
say he wasn't good. I'm saying if he'd want to come back.
I think he would. I mean, yeah, he's done it all. He doesn't really need to.
Right. He's literally accomplished a lot.
Yeah, he's like 9-time world champion or something like that.
He's one away from beating Triple H.
No, Triple H is 14 times.
Wasn't there a thing where...
John Cena's 15 times. Ric Flair's 16.
John Cena was... That's why he lost it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, I don't know. I think you're right, though. I think it's because they have so many injuries that they had to rewrite a bunch of stuff, and I think that's why they brought in more people. I think that's why AJ Styles got the call up.
No, I think AJ Styles they did because they knew he was going to get the call up regardless. I think by the Rumble.
Maybe so, but
he might have gone to NXT first. You're right.
I think yeah, exactly. I think they fast tracked some things. Not saying it wasn't in the works. Not saying he wasn't on the radar. Just saying I think they had to fast track some things.
That's why Austin Aries stayed in NXT because they only wanted to bring one up, and it was AJ.
Yeah, and I think that's they need some mojo there right now. So.
There is hints that he might be moving up.
Which I would be totally fine with. I'd love that as a matter of fact.
At this point, I'll take it.
Yeah. Samoa Joe versus, Roman Reigns versus, I don't care who, versus Bray Wyatt versus Brock Lesnar. I don't care who he's facing. I think that'd be awesome.
Oh, yeah. Well, Brock Lesnar said he's only in it for another, year, and then he's probably walking away?
Probably. He doesn't need it either.
He's done everything himself.
Yeah, exactly. So...
well, this is wrestling. We're not bitter. We just want better shows.
Exactly, and I think that's the thing. We're fans, and we want it to be good. It's like we talk about the comics. We're comic fans, and we want those stories to be solid and on point. And
I'm bitter about DC. Don't even start me with DC.
All right, that's another show.
It is another show.
It's the same thing here. We just want it to be the best it can be, and right now, they're phoning it in my opinion. So.
Yeah, they're mediocre at best, but their pay-per-views are pretty good. Royal Rumble was good for what it was worth.
It's usually one good, one average. One good, one average. That's kind of... And I feel like Fastlane is probably going to be average, and then...
It definitely is. Yeah. It definitely is. I agree with you.
Yeah. So we'll see. But that's going to wrap up our talk about Raw. We're almost at an hour here.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
We're only gonna do it an hour, Brant. Brant, a half hour, 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's yeah. We went into a few side rants and sidetracks and all that good stuff. But
Yeah, that's true.
yeah. But anyway, we'll be back, like we said, Sunday, Monday with the next episode talking NXT. Exciting.
Positive stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when that main event. I know you haven't finished watching it yet, but dude, you gotta watch that. I'm not gonna spoil it, but you gotta watch the main event. It was a really good match. So yeah, that's it. Check out all our other stuff. Dark Avenger C86, Comment Frontline, Last Ember Press, Zone4Podcast.com. Where's my tail? And is there anything you wanted to add?
Brooklyn Boys, Frontline Gaming Zone. Frontline Gaming Zone is going to get a huge push very, 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 very soon.
Okay. All right, and Zone 4, the main Zone 4 show is going to return the week after next. Brand new episode. So look forward to that. Finally, from the hiatus. Yeah, I can talk. Hiatus.
Hey, Ida!
Hey, Ida. And Ida. I don't know. I don't have an Ida.
I don't have an Aunt Ida either, so don't look at me.
I do like Idaho potatoes. So.
I was thinking that!
We're done. Bye, guys. Tune in for episode 22, NXT.
Bring your Idaho potato chips.
Exactly. We'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
This has been a Gonzo Goose production.